Yo, you was on 106 in Park recently, and they asked you about the question as far as education. Can you expand on that to our young listeners out there? How important is education to Wacka Flocka?
Man, it's always important. You know something, bro? You know something I learned about me? Like, before I did it, I told my mom I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And she was mad. She's still mad at me for doing it. But I showed her, like, people take my words and just make it something that it ain't. Like I said, I don't need lyrics. They just blow it out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they blew that out of proportion. I just gave them a point of view from a child from the ghetto. That's a lot of kids on the street who, I ain't say I don't need education. Who don't need education? If you ain't educated, you ain't going to make it through life. If I wasn't educated, I wouldn't make it to where I'm at today. So anybody that eats that and live off that, they got to be less educated to think I'm not educated. You feel me?
I think I understand what you're saying, but I think the perspective that you're talking about is more or less common sense or street smarts or wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
But the question that I'm asking as far as education is more or less pertaining to higher learning outside of high school, finishing, graduating from high school, going on to college or picking up a trade, or going to a tech school.
My personal opinion on high school, you want to need a real answer. In high school, I think we'd be better if they teach you in school how to be a boss and not be a learner. In other words, they teach you how to be a worker and not a CEO. Like you feel what I'm trying to say?
Wacka Flocka, I 150% agree with what you just said, man.
Come on, bro.
You're speaking the truth right there, because I personally think that the entire school system needs to be redone. That we need a school reform. But you hit the nail on the head, man. People.
That's why I did it. That's why I said it. So I can say this right here. If they so big on voting, why they don't got classes on voting in history? They don't talk about nothing in history about voting, but they tell you about some old British man that came to America. That ain't rocking with us today. We can't use that to proceed on life. Y'all teaching us how to be slaves, not to be CEOs. Teach me how to be a CEO. That's why I rap. So I give my partner the opportunity to show them better ways in life instead of just being an old worker, old 9 to 5, and trying to hope you work 20 years. By the time you 40, come on, man, your life over with, man.
Wacka Flocka.
Stop.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
No, hold up. Listen to this. Why somebody got to go to school for 4 years? They could drop out of 9th grade and get all that education in 2 weeks, and it's called the GED. But I don't get that, though. They call me stupid, though. You feel me? I never understood it as a kid. I never understood.
Well, that's debatable, because there's pros and cons of getting an education in school. You're dealing with you learn how to deal with people socially. There's pros and cons. So I think that statement is debatable. But my question was, have you ever read the book or heard of the book called Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No, a lot of people told me about that book too.
Well, if you want to be a CEO, learn about a CEO, that's a great book to read. It definitely breaks down how rich people think and how poor people or the middle class people think. So a lot of people telling you about that. You should definitely look into that, man. But that's
I'm gonna go buy that.
Great point you brought up, Wacka. I appreciate that. If you ever need any words of encouragement, words of wisdom, or anything, man, I'm here for you anytime. But we appreciate it. Flockavelli comes out.
I like that book, man. That Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm finna get somebody to go get that right now.
Go get it, man, and read it. When you get done, call back on the show here in Richmond, VA, and ask for me, man. We'll talk about it.
All right. Let's see how far this conversation travels.
All right, homie.
Yo.
Appreciate it, man.